Like the beginning of an astounding tour into space, it tested the manner that we are able to keep an eye on this planet as well as everything in our nearby planet organization and beyond. Even after 46 years, these magnificent space equipment are nonetheless providing scientists new and stunning information about space. Despite the fact that their memory is 3 million times smaller than that of our cellular phones, and their multiple instances slower than our quickest 5G net connection, these fantastic assessments nonetheless lead the way in exploring space. And now Explorer 1 has already made an exquisite discovery in interstellar space, one that challenges all that we assumed we knew approximately the universe. It determines something so unexpected that scientists are left scratching their heads. But what exactly did it discover, and how can it redefine our understanding of the universe? Let's discover. History records on an first-rate day, September 5, 1977, from a spot referred to as Cape Canaveral in Florida, something remarkable came about. Explorer 1 started its journey into space, sent off by using a stable rocket called Titan. Most effective 15 days afterward, August 20, 1977, Explorer 2 joined in, starting its very own journey into the universe. Their main paintings changed into to have a look at the huge fuel planets in our close-by planet institution like Jupiter and Saturn, and the moons round them. However, wager what? These space explorers went lots farther. They went way out into our enormous Reg area, breaking hundreds of statistics on their especially lengthy ride. They've been going longer than another rocket ever, and they've long gone farther from Earth than whatever humans have made before. They even went into an area referred to as interstellar space, which is like going into a totally exceptional part of our global that no person explored before. These area trailblazers, Explorer 1 and Explorer 2, are in greater than 12 billion miles from us now. Still, they maintain to amaze scientists with the magnificent matters they are discovering there. They have recently found some things so startling that no person saw it coming. The Explorer twin checks have accomplished some surprising stuff over a long time. Again, they checked out the moons of Jupiter and Saturn and absolutely astounded scientists. Humans used to suppose those moons were boring and full of holes like our moon, however nope, they are humming with interest. Explorer 2 was the first of the twins to swing by Uranus in 1986, and simply 3 years later it zoomed beyond Neptune. But right here's what's charming. It is the most effective area apparatus that has ever achieved that. As these rockets flow ahead with their first-rate journey, NASA is doing some hints to make sure they preserve running. They grew to become off certain matters they didn't need, like greater parts and warmers, to save electricity. That manner, the distance equipment can hold going strong until at least 2030. For the scientists and engineers who've been part of this extremely good adventure from the start, it is a combination of satisfied and sad feelings. They worked difficult, and now once they notion the Explorer missions had been nearly completed, and superb discovery emerged from area. Data transmission and Explorer 1's revelation. The data sent back by Explorer 1 and its dual rockets had grown to be a gold mine for scientists. They sparked plenty of discoveries and got human beings enthusiastic about area. These are 2 rockets that were built extra cautiously like strong stages so they could take clear snapshots and accumulate statistics whilst zooming through space. Even before they reached the outer planets, their pics had been already blowing scientists' minds. Explorer 1 commenced sending pics of Jupiter, although it was still a ways away from the planet. People at NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab got excited after they noticed the primary pics of Jupiter's swirling clouds and the famous tremendous pink spot. However, the breakthrough got here whilst the explorers found something great on Jupiter's moon, Io. This moon, much larger than Earth's moon, turned out to be the most energetic volcano in our complete nearby planet institution. The explorers collectively took greater than 33,000 snapshots of Jupiter and its moons. They confirmed how beautiful Jupiter is and all of the unique landscapes on its moons. And earlier than this recent and clearly outstanding discovery, those twin rockets have been locating incredible matters considering they commenced their journey. Another big treat become finding out Jupiter has earrings, even though they're not very brilliant. This discovery made Jupiter even extra thrilling too. Explorer 2 found that Europa, one of Jupiter's 53 moons, has a thick icy shell greater than 60 miles thick. These discoveries made scientists rethink what they notion approximately these distant matters in area and got them curious approximately whether or not icy moons like Europa could be locations wherein lifestyles ought to exist. Because the explorers left Jupiter, they got a lift from the planet's gravity that acted like a robust kick, sending them in the direction of Saturn. This kick became rather substantial because it helped them destroy free from the sun's pressure and keep going into space. Explorer 1 and Explorer 2 went their separate methods after that, heading to new locations. Explorer 1 got close to Saturn's moon, Titan, which has a type of orange murky ecosystem around it. Scientists were given curious, approximately Titan secrets, so they focused on its complicated chemistry. Then, Explorer 1 moved far away from the other planets and started out going past our planetary machine. On the other hand, Explorer 2 had some beautiful reports too. In 1986, it flew by means of Uranus and discovered 10 new moons, adding to the full remember. 3 years later, it reached Neptune, showing us the incredible matters about this a long way away ice giant. Explorer 2 even measured winds on Neptune going as rapid as 1,000 miles per hour, the fastest ever on a planet in our solar system. When the distance apparatus got near Neptune, just 2,980 miles away, it gave us new and notable information approximately this distant global. Neptune's biggest moon, Triton, turned out to be one of the coldest places in our closed-by-planet institution, with temperatures dropping to a freezing -391 degrees Fahrenheit. Triton also had these cool ice volcanoes that shot out nitrogen gasoline and icy stuff into its thin atmosphere. All these discoveries made us recognize how specific and exciting the planets and moons in our solar gadget may be, even the farthest ones. Imagine a space journey story, and one individual who had a massive position in pushing it alongside was the well-known astronomer Carl Sagan. He changed into a part of the group that took snapshots for the Explorer venture, and he desired to snap one closing set of photos earlier than switching off the cameras. Those pics could be like a special present for anybody on Earth, a closing observe our domestic from a ways out in area. Sagan failed to give up, and it paid off on Valentine's Day in 1990. Explorer 1 grew to become its Digicam returned closer to the Interplanetary Organization and took 60 images. The most well-known one is called the pale blue dot. It turned into taken from 3.8 billion miles away, making it the farthest image of our planet ever taken. In the image, Earth looks small like a pale blue dot within the considerable area around it. Even after 40 years, those rockets are still accessible, sending us treasured facts from the farthest parts of area. Now, let's talk approximately something a chunk vintage college. The Explorer tests use an antique 8-track tape device. Yes, you heard it proper. 8-track tapes were not anything to comic story approximately at some stage in the 70s, and these tests are nevertheless the use of them. It just shows how clever the folks who planned this challenge were, making sure these old tapes could still do the activity. But why 8-track tapes, you can be thinking? Well, that's a tale really worth listening to. You see, in the beginning of exploring space, the form of digital garage we use these days turned into just beginning out. So they wanted something tough and dependable to shop essential information, and those 8-track tapes became out to be the proper choice. What's even extra exciting is that the information on these tapes is not just ordinary song. It's treasured technological know-how records approximately planets, moons, and area among the celebs. Yes, those tapes preserve the answer to a number of the biggest mysteries within the universe. Now, contemplate this. The Explorer checks face excessive things like sudden hot and bloodless temperatures, area radiation, and the vacancy of space. But those vintage tourists hold going robust. It is like sending your grandparents on an adventure in Antarctica, and not most effective do they survive, however they thrive. Why did the Explorer missions work so nicely? The Explorer missions had this high-quality move called gravity assist maneuvers. Think of it like this: Explorer 1 and Explorer 2, two ambitious area pilgrims, were on a massive venture to discover the a long way out in our nearby planet group. To reach those foreign places and gather treasured statistics, they needed a little assist more than just their engines. Here's wherein gravity assists are available. And it is like a space dance. Instead of simply the use of their engines, these space apparatus did this cool celestial dance with a number of the Sun system's large planets. They used their gravitational pull like a slingshot to sling themselves forward, saving gas and gaining the rate they needed to visit lots of different places. Now, let's move easy on gravity assist, also referred to as a gravitational slingshot. It's approximately getting a few pace from a planet because the shuttle goes by using Imagine Explorer 1 swinging by using Jupiter, a large gasoline giant with a gravitational pull to match its size. The clever minds at NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab made sure Explorer 1 swirled past Jupiter at the proper perspective and speed. Jupiter's gravity pulled at the commute, making it pass quicker like a space strength up. But here's the fascinating element. There is an artwork to this maneuver. If Explorer 1 had approached Jupiter the wrong way, it may have been a space disaster, sending the trip way off course. Fortunately, the NASA specialists nailed it, and the celestial dance with the planets became a huge achievement. The level of precision required is exquisite, but guess what? The clever scientists and engineers who deliberate this astronomical dance didn't simply get it right once, but frequently. Thanks to those gravity assist maneuvers, Explorer 1 and Explorer 2 went in this excellent adventure through the planetary device. Explorer 2, as an example, got a lift from Jupiter and Saturn to zoom to Uranus and Neptune. These space moves performed a huge function in getting the grand excursion going. Without these slingshot maneuvers, the Explorer missions couldn't have possibly been as impressive as they have been. Explorer 1 made it to interstellar space, and Explorer 2 wasn't a long way behind, thanks to the immensely precise gravity assist they mastered. Behind gravity assist is simple, but getting it finished is complex. Explorer 2's grand excursion required a lot of precision. If they ignored any of those boosts, the whole assignment should have gone wrong. But the people in charge were determined to get all of the records they could need. Efforts by scientists and astronomers to completely apprehend the idea of gravity assist led them to find something even more exciting about the darkish place of space. The deep space community. No matter the Explorer mission's the usage of gravity assist maneuvers to explore area, there's another essential factor that made the whole thing paintings, the deep space community, DSN. Consider it like a space telephone line that kept us talking to our brave Explorer checks as they went into the unknown. Now, what exactly is the Deep Space Network? It's no longer as flashy as a spaceship, however, it is important. The DSN is like a massive enterprise of radio dishes in distinctive areas of the planet, like California, Spain, and Australia. These large dishes, some as large as 70 meters across, act like space megaphones, assisting us to talk to rockets which might be manner out there. Let's get into its position inside the Explorer missions. The Explorer tests, with all their cameras and sensors, were our eyes and ears in area. To apprehend the records they sent lower back and tell them what to do, we needed places of electricity for a device. And that is wherein the DSN came in. Imagine this: Explorer 1, going to the outer elements of our nearby planet institution, sends a message returned to Earth. It's a susceptible sign, transferring especially fast through space. When it reaches Earth, it's definitely vulnerable. But the DSN's big radio dishes are prepared to capture that weak sign. They lock onto Explorer's whisper and turn it into records that scientists can use. The DSN doesn't just capture alerts. It additionally sends commands. You see, missions like Explorer are usually changing. Scientists and engineers need to regulate their plans or tell the space shuttle what to do. They send those commands through the DSN, capturing them into area to reach Explorer. It is like a two-manner chat among Earth and the farthest human-made matters in area. Something splendid about the DSN is that it works all the time, 24/7, continually listening for those distant signals. The Deep Space Network is like our space organization. Not just a bunch of antennas, it maintains the stories of the Explorer challenge going. Even as the shuttles go some distance beyond our solar system, exploring the unexplored lands of interstellar space, the Oort cloud, heliosphere, and heliopause. Interstellar space is a piece less complicated to reach than the farthest quit of our solar machine. Imagine the nearby planet institution as a swell with a haze of comet-like things a ways away, stored intact by means of the sun's gravity. This SC cloud could stretch halfway to the nearest megastar, and it's going to take the Explorer checks round 300 more years to get near its facet. Now, whilst we communicate approximately interstellar space, it begins wherein the sun breeze, a rush of charged particles and magnetic fields from the sun, ends. The solar breeze acts like an expanding bubble, forming something called the heliosphere. This is like a defensive bubble around the solar machine, carried via the solar breeze. Eventually, this bubble gets compressed by using stress from interstellar count number, forming a boundary known as the give-up shock. The boundary between our planetary gadget and interstellar space is known as the heliopause, expected to be quite a distance away. Once upon a time, some assumptions placed it as close as Jupiter. However, greater correct calculations in 1993 said it's 100 times the distance from Earth to the Sun. Explorer 1 reached this boundary around 20 years after these calculations, identifying an upward thrust in plasma density. Now, Explorer 2 reached the interstellar seaside in 2018. However, it noticed no modifications in the magnetic subject. This was surprising, as theories predicted changes tied to the solar's 11-year cycle. The sun wind became most powerful whilst Explorer 2 arrived, trying out those predictions. Because the explorers provide real information, scientists are refining their models of how the heliosphere interacts with interstellar space. In simple terms, our solar left a hot ionized sector and entered a partially ionized part of the galaxy. The hot region possibly formed while nearby old stars exploded in a supernova, heating the distance and messing with nearby atoms. Image it like the seaside, with waves and water swirling. It's a bit wild. Magnetic fields play a function in this energetic corridor, not the clean one scientists usually draw. Due to the heliosphere's influence on the gap between stars, the explorers observed lots of small modifications close to the heliopause, but not a whole lot distinction in magnetic fields at larger scales. Eventually, the shuttles will go away this turbulent area and hit the pure interstellar magnetic field. Saying goodbye to those cool area equipment may not be easy. Both Explorer checks nonetheless have working gadgets powered by using a device that channels warmth from plutonium's decay into power. But the energy output is coming around for what's in keeping with year, setting the group in disaster mode. It's fascinating to look at the Explorer explore space, but as they move on, we're getting prepared to say goodbye. The Explorer checks will maintain exploring, despite the fact that they cannot speak to us anymore. Explorer 1 will drop via Proxima Centauri, our close-by megastar buddy, in a whopping 16,700 years. Explorer 2 will appearance up a bit later in 3,600 years. After that, they'll circle the device for heaps of years. Way later, our solar is long gone, and the heliosphere has vanished. All of this just for that one tiny faded blue dot we call domestic. It's like their cosmic journey by no means clearly ends. The Explorer checks may additionally still be available, not too battered. They would probably send a final message at some point in their journey, but not at the radio and not by us humans. They have two information like old faculty tech but cooler. These data are fabricated from copper, have a glittery gold cover, and are wrapped with aluminum. Now, these information, nicknamed the Golden Facts, have cool stuff encoded of their grooves. There's about 90 minutes of music like Bach's Brandenburg Concerto and Chuck Berry's Johnny B. True. Plus, there are photographs of children, dolphins, artists, sunsets, and sounds of crickets, rain, and a mom giving her infant a kiss. Even Jimmy Carter, the president when the Explorer activated, left a message. Says, "We cast this message into the cosmos." It is a notice saying, "Hello, we hope that sooner or later, once we resolve our problems, we are able to be part of a community of civilizations out there." This document is like a message of desire and goodwill from Earth to the large and exquisite universe.